Right. Welcome. Beautiful day. Another good day to be here with you. Voice Signer here, Esoteric. We are live. To have another fascinating conversation about Liberia. Welcome, guys. Let me double check as usual to do the sound check to see how my sound looks like. About Liberia. Welcome, guys. Let me see something. To see how my sound looks like. That. All right, my sound is wonderful. Welcome on board, guys. Welcome on board. My sound is wonderful. Welcome to all of you. We are back again to have a conversation, to talk Liberia. Yeah, let's see. I don't want to play that right now. So, guys, as you get on, please share the live feed for us in other chat rooms. Share on your page. Follow us on YouTube. We are also live right now on YouTube. The Voice of SINOE in the Diaspora with Esoteric. We are live on YouTube right now. Let's have a dialogue. Let's have a conversation. If you want to be part of the conversation tonight, we will be happy to bring you on and to give your take on the issue or the topic that I will be discussing this afternoon from my side. So I will play some music here while I share, and then later on I will play my real traditional music here. Yeah, so that we can talk good. We can have a good conversation here. But let me play this music. I'll be right back.
Okay, you're not able to take care of Babu Nebo. You're not able to bust the rata Babu Nebo. Oh, soldier, monkey calm down. Oh, monkey calm down. Monkey calm down. Oh, monkey calm down. Monkey calm down to you. Monkey calm down to you. Monkey. Oh, soldier, monkey calm down to you. Monkey calm down to you. Monkey calm down to you. Once upon the time, in the jungle, there lay so many animals and so many trees. During the day, there were no restriction. Anytime, any day, anyone used to corrupt and go stay free in the jungle, yeah. After they realized that everything was good, I said everyone was only after the food. Majority of the people went beyond baboon, and few people went beyond okay. The headers of the time made a big mistake. After election, they went and made a selection. So the citizen of the jungle was unsatisfied. So they decided to send another caretaker. Who loves, who care, who has the ability taking care of the monkey. You're not able to take care of Babu Nebo. You're not able to bust the rata Babu Nebo. Oh, soldier, monkey calm down. Oh, monkey calm down. Monkey calm down. Oh, monkey calm down. Monkey calm down to you. Monkey calm down to you. Monkey. Oh, soldier, monkey calm down to you. Monkey calm down to you. Monkey calm down to you. Monkey chop. Monkey cannot get tired. Say monkey chop yo. Monkey cannot get tired. Monkey chop. Monkey cannot get tired. Monkey chop yo. Monkey cannot get tired.
Keeping banana and the chop. Stealing is a error. Russian is a error.
Monkey cannot get tired.
Hey, we wanna live life. Have to live a good life. We wanna live life. Have to live a better life. We wanna live life. Have to live a better life. We wanna live life. Have to live a better life. We wanna live life. Have to live a better life.
You're not able to take care of Babu Nebo. You're not able to bust the rata Babu Nebo. Oh soldier, monkey calm down. Oh monkey calm down. Monkey calm down. Oh Rob, monkey calm down. Monkey calm down to you. Monkey calm down to you. Monkey. Oh soldier, monkey calm down to you. Monkey calm down to you. Monkey calm down to you.
Monkey listen, you give it right, it can crack it. Bible storm, monkey listen, you give it stick, it can break it. We do your long time ago that Mr. Monkey was very wicked. The way you see it with your apple, then you know that love is wicked. Monkey see apple, they pick it, banana and plum, they take it. All that Google food in a pocket, it when give it something lick it. Monkey drop it, it drop it, nana, only baboon can stop it. Monkey drop it, it drop it, nana, only baboon can stop it. It for all African monkeys, all I want for them to rig it. Monkeys jump from tree to tree, hustle hustle. It ready get sick. Monkey jump from tree to tree, hustle hustle. When it ready get sick. Two back when monkey we catch it. That one it will not be easy. How you read, my people? I say it wicked. How you read, my people? I say it
Monkey, you not able to take care of baboon able. You not able to bust the rata baboon able. Oh soldier, monkey calm down. Oh monkey calm down. Soldier, monkey calm down. Oh Rob, monkey calm down. Monkey calm down to you. Monkey calm down to you. Monkey. Oh soldier, monkey calm down to you. Monkey calm down to you. Monkey calm down to you. Don't jam a monkey say that away home. Don't small monkey say away home. On top of monkey say away home. Oh monkey say that away home. Away home. Away home. Away home. Away home. Let me know. Away home. Away home. Away home. My people yeah. Away home. Away home. I'm sorry yeah. Away home.
Agbada yìí ajé sàlíbàdì, gbàgbà yẹn wọ́n yà wọ́n yàgbàdì, yàrá owó má ti lọ́ọ́ lè sàdúró. Wọ́n ń ṣe sàbẹ̀dì, sàbẹ̀ àfẹ́, èsì yà sàdúró, sàbẹ̀ àfẹ́, wà kò lẹ́wọ́.
One wonderful good afternoon, good evening, good night, wherever you find yourself around the world. This is the voice of SINOE in the diaspora. With Dark Sarpos, Esoteric, we are coming to you live from these United States of America. And we are here today to have another fascinating discussion on another interesting topic. And please join us, be part of the conversation on another interesting topic. And please join us, be part of the conversation. All right, please be part of the conversation. I want to do a little sound check here at the back to make sure my sound, everything is on course. Hey, Abel Morris, how you doing? Conan, Zelly, Hugo, how you doing, man? All right, guys, welcome aboard. This is the voice of SINOE in the diaspora with Dark Sarpos, Esoteric, coming to you live from the DMV area. These United States of America. It is a brand new, wonderful show, and we would be glad if you were to participate in this conversation. But it's a trending discussion right now. The issue or the topic that we're going to be discussing here on the show. Welcome to Voice of SINOE again. This is your host, our Dark Sarpos, Esoteric, and welcome. All right, so hope you are doing well over there, wherever you are, with your family, with your friends, with your loved ones. We hope that you are doing great. We are doing fantastic over here as well with the family. Yes. We are here to discuss just one important topic today on VOSD. And we try to go through the history of Liberia and look at the ethnic groups in the country to see why is it that certain people are recognized and others are excluded in the country. What is going on? And the fight of the SARPO community, the SARPO ethnic group in Liberia, is on course right now because the SARPO people, they feel marginalized in their own country. And so there's a group called the Campaigners for SARPO liberation, or the recognition of the SARPO people. All right. So the campaign is currently going on in Liberia, and I think any tribal group in the country that will fall in the situation of the Sarpos, they will do similar thing as well. All right. So I think the fight of the Sarpos is not wrong. The fight to be recognized, to be placed on national emblems, the exclusion of the SARPO from major symbols of the country is something that has to be addressed. You know, Liberia as a country has gone through all sort of discrimination. The indigenous people were once discriminated against when the American Liberians, when they came to the land now called Liberia, they marginalized the indigenous people. You know, they were relegated to slaves in their own country. And also that fight, one of the people fought for their liberation. And now along the way, we, the indigenous people, we have started discrimination among ourselves. You know, certain people are considered legitimate in the country, and certain people are not considered legitimate. And this is not how you build a good society. This is not how you build a harmonious society where all the people will work together. The exclusion of the SARPO in the Republic of Liberia is something that must be addressed. You know, the SARPOs have played a major role in Liberia. If you look at the first indigenous vice president of Liberia, he was a SARPO man, Thomas Wesson. If you look at the interim administration during the Warren faction in Liberia, the head for the civilians in the country was a SARPO man, Oscar Jaiquia. He was a SARPO man. And so along the history, if you look across the history of Liberia, you see the SARPOs that played a major role. Even during the fight for liberation, you have liberation fighters like Deacon Carlo and Joe Wally and those guys. They are all SARPOs. They fought for the inclusion of the indigenous people, for the acceptance of the indigenous people. They fought against the oligarchs at the time that did not want to recognize the indigenous people. And so it is alarming that along the way, after the indigenous people have been recognized in the country, the writers of our history, the writer of our books, the literature that we use to educate our children in schools, certain people are excluded in those books. And as we are those of us who are the spokesperson for the elders and the ancestors, those of us that are seeking justice for all, we cannot be around for such injustice to prevail. So we feel that it is unjust for the Sarpos to be excluded in their own land. All right. So I like the campaign for that is being waged by the campaigners headed by Wakoko and others in Liberia right now, suing the Liberian government, especially the Central Bank of Liberia, with respect to the new banknotes that has the indigenous tribes, so all the tribes in the country. But then for some reason, the Sarpos were excluded. You know, and that's something that we must go into today. And so we want to follow the campaign by the campaigners and see the arguments they are making which I thought personally when I listened to the guys, their argument is convincing, is compelling, and those that are opposing the acceptance of the SARPO within the tribal, the ethnic groups of Liberia must come out to make their argument and see why the SARPOs should not be included, should not be the 17th tribe of Liberia, even though major literature right now has recognized the SARPO as the 17th tribe of Liberia. All right. So let's go into this, what we want to do here. First of all, let's show you something. Let me go in this mode right here to show you something. All right. Now, we have this right here. This is what's sparking the new debate in Liberia. Let me make it bigger. All right, this is the new denomination. This is the new banknote that is sparking debate now in Liberia. Why? The other tribes, their mask. You know, all the tribes in Liberia, they have their traditional mask that they are using to pay to represent them. You know, so the guys that crafted the new banknote, especially the central bank, they excluded the SARPO. So if you look on this banknote, the 1,000 banknote, they got 16 tribes of Liberia representing the mask. They put this mask on here. 16. But the question is, why 16? Why the SARPOs were not included? Why? Why were they excluded from the mask? Why? Are they not citizens of Liberia? Or are the SARPOs Krahn? Are the SARPO crew? Well, the SARPOs are saying they are not crew, and the evidence available is proving that. It's demonstrating that the SARPOs are not crew, and the crew are not SARPO. The SARPOs are not Krahn, and the Krahn are not SARPO. So why is it that the guys that developed the new banknote, they excluded a major tribe, a major ethnic group that fought for the liberation of the indigenous people, one of the indigenous tribes in the country? Why was the SARPO excluded? Are we still on the era of marginalization where certain people will be marginalized from their own country? You see, this is how you erase somebody from history. The first thing you do if you want to put somebody down is to not recognize that person, because that's what it is. Because if you look at history, if you look at slavery, for example, in the United States and other parts of the world, right? The first thing those racists were doing was to first not recognize the black man. First of all, they went as far as not considering the black man a human being. Even up to now, the Constitution of the United States does not see the black man as a full human being. So if you want to erase somebody from history, if you want to make somebody to be illegitimate, you put him in different brackets. You start to call him different names, like the genocide that went on in Rwanda, for example. The other tribe, the Hutu and the Tutsi, they were calling the other people roaches and all. So you first make the other person to be irrelevant, going as far as calling the person names or not recognizing other people. And that's how you erase those people from history. And that's what we are saying in Liberia. In Liberia, a major banknote was printed. It was put in circulation. But then one major, they said all the tribes in the country should be represented. Their mask should be placed on the money for the various tribes to be recognized in the country. But then, unfortunately, the SARPOs were excluded. Why is that so? Why was the SARPO excluded from the new denomination? We feel that there is something, the powers that be, they are using the authority to exclude, or maybe because they had some outstanding issue with certain people or with certain tribal groups, especially when you come to the history of Liberia. There is this friction between the Sarpos and the Krahns, especially when it came to, because when the revolution was launched, when Dole took over, the guy who was the vice president to Dole was a Sarpo guy. And then Dole killed Thomas Wesson. And so since that era, the Sarpos, the Krahn, the Sarpo, there has been this friction between the two tribes. And so legitimizing the Sarpos might be seen otherwise. And so the bank governor at the time, Aloysius Talu, decided to exclude the Sarpo from the banknote. And he knows very well the role that the Sarpos play in the country. He knows that the Sarpo is the major tribe in the country. It's a major tribal group. But the Sarpo was excluded from the new banknote. And we feel that this is a pure, it was intentional. It was orchestrated by the powers that be to just marginalize certain people in the country, which is unacceptable. The new Liberia, we must recognize everybody in the country. We cannot say because of whatever reason, and we are making major national decisions, and we exclude certain people from it. That is not fair. That is unjust. It is unjust. And those of us in the U.S., we want to urge those on the ground in Liberia that are making sure that the Sarpos are recognized, they continue the fight. That's how it's supposed to be. It is wrong for our government to print a currency, a new currency, and you erase her from the currency and you left her out. That is unacceptable. When the leadership of the various Sarpos organization in the diaspora are afraid to speak, and some of us, that's what we are here for, to speak truth to power. It's wrong. Why is the petty man better than the Sarpo man? Why is the guild man better than the Sarpo man? Why the Bandi man is better than the Sarpo man? Why is the Gribble man better than the Sarpo man? Why is the Gola better than the Sarpo? Why would you include all the other tribal groups in the country, but then you exclude the Sarpo? Why? Are we still in the days of discrimination? Is it now reverse? That which we fought against yesterday, we are now implementing that in our time when the government of Liberia is predominantly indigenous people. When the indigenous people were relegated to houseboys and gate men by then, they were not even recognized as full human beings in their own land, in their own country. And now our leaders are replicating the same thing. They are now erasing certain people. I have heard arguments that the Sarpos are crude. I have heard argument that the Sarpos are crime. But then when you look at the various subdivisions, say for example the crew has 48 sections. If you name the 48 sections of the crew ethnic group, the Sarpos are not listed. But then you say the Sarpos are crew. So why when you name the 48 sections of the crew ethnic group, you don't call the Sarpo? Why they say that when you name the 16 sections of the Krahn ethnic group, you exclude the Sarpo? The Sarpos are not listed. But then you are saying the Sarpos are crew and they are Sarpo, they are Krahn at the same time. But then when you are naming the various sections of those ethnic groups in which you say the Sarpos are embedded or are included, you don't name the Sarpos. Why? Why is that so? So somebody is playing games here. Somebody is trying to erase certain group of people legitimate, a bona fide ethnic group in Liberia, to erase them, to marginalize them. You have to understand, those who write history, they have their own biases. They have their own goals. They have things in mind. And so they write these books and they leave out certain people. And that is why it is important that we send our children to school so that they too will be writers. so that they will write themselves into history. Because if you have another man writing your history, and that man has something against you, he's going to exclude you out of history. You will be excluded. And so that is why we are seeing in Liberia. The Sarpos have been excluded. They have been omitted from the 10,000 banknote. Why? 1,000, sorry. The 1,000 banknote. Why? Why? The leaders at the time, what did they do? The guys that represent the citizens of SINOE County. The leaders. When this banknote was being printed, at the time we have Clayton Duncan in the Capitol building. We have Zaza in the Capitol building. We have Samson We are in the Capitol building. We had Augustine Chia in the Capitol building. But the question is, why did they allow a major tribe or ethnic group of Liberia? I know some of these guys, they were on those various committees, the committees or committee on ways and means, on finance that deliberated on the new banknote. They were on these committees, or one of this committee that printed that talked about this banknote. Why didn't they talk for themselves? Why did they participate in this marginalization that is going to glaring marginalization? Why? Why are the Sarpos excluded from the tribes of Liberia? Why do you have 16 tribes in Liberia and not 17? Why? Why? Somebody listening to me, maybe who opposed the idea, must come and speak of why the Sarpos were excluded from the tribes, the ethnic groups of Liberia. Why were the Sarpos excluded? I want to understand that. You say that the Sarpos are crude. You say that the Sarpos are Krahn. But then when you list the 48 sections of the crude ethnic group, for example, the Sarpos are not listed. When you list the 16 sections of the Sarpo ethnic group, the Sarpos are not included. So where are the Sarpos? Why are they not independent or ethnic group in the country? Why are the writers, the authors of our literature, they are not adequately, they are not fairly representing the human population of the country? Why are they excluding certain people? Are they putting their biases in the writing process? I want to believe so. I want to believe so. Or they are just ignorant of the population of the country, the tribal population, and they're claiming to be authors. And the government of Liberia is condoning such, excluding the authors of the book. Because if I want to write a book too, if I have my own bias, I might include that. But the government represents all the people in the country. And so when we are writing our national, we are printing national symbols, all the citizens got to be included. You can inclusion and exclusion. The Sarpos are more than certain tribal groups in the country. For example, the Bele. The Sarpo got more people. But then the Sarpos are not recognized in the country. When they go to school, they teach our children there are 16 tribes in the country. Meanwhile, there are more than 16 tribes. You're erasing a major tribe, a tribe that produced the first indigenous vice president. You erase the people from their history, the people that produce the interim, when they had the power sharing, when the rebel factions were in the country, the tribe that had the civilian population represented, Oscar Jai Kuya, he was basically the president of the country. He represented the civilian, the non-rebels in the country. But then that tribe of that man was taken from the history books. The first indigenous vice president, his ethnic group was also erased. They are saying they are Krahn. Okay, if you say, for example, say Thomas Wesson, if you consider Thomas Wesson to be a crime man, but then the Constitution said the president and the vice president cannot come from the same place. How is that possible? Oh, maybe somebody will make an argument and say, oh, it was a revolution. All right, so when you have a revolution, the guys that launched the revolution, you want to tell me they are not educated, they are just a bunch of idiots? They will take people from the same place to represent the government, to be at the top? No. So we cannot be inflicting injustice upon ourselves. Now, since the first batch of leaders in the country are in the Capitol building, the Zaza, the TJ, the Chi, the Wea, the Donkey, since they failed to accomplish this mission by recognizing the Sarpos, by making sure that this injustice that has been perpetrated is addressed, it's now the responsibility is now on the new group of leaders, the Sonny Boy Noah, the Romeo Quia, the Donkey, the Chie, and the Wea. This historical blunder must be corrected. This blunder committed by the leaders of our country, this deliberate blunder by the Southeastern government that just left, led by George Weah, that erased a major ethnic group from the national currency. It has to be addressed by the current leaders. And we are supporting the campaigners in Liberia to make sure that this glaring injustice is concerned to history. It is unfair. It is unfair to say that the Sarpos are crew, but then when you list the 48 sections of the crew tribe, the Sarpos are not there. It is unfair to say the Sarpos are Krahn, but when you list the 16 sections of the Krahn, you don't list the Sarpo. But then you say, yes, still you are saying the Sarpos are part of the Krahn and the crew. And you're writing national symbols. You are printing national symbols, and these people are not recognized. And these people, you have them in different top positions in the country. This is unfair. It was a blunder on the part of the leaders, the first batch of leaders. And this one will be pushed by me on the current leaders. Maybe somebody will say, okay, maybe the first leaders, it was only one Sarpo guy, and the guys, the majority, they trump that guy. But right now, we have at least 2 Sarpos in the Capitol building. Are they going to erase themselves from history? Are they going to sit in the Capitol building? Romeo Quia going to sit over there. Sonny Boy Noah going to sit over there. And people are not recognizing them. They are making laws for the country. But then their ethnic group, where they are from, they say, well, you don't exist in the country. You are not recognized. Is Sonny Boy Noah going to be quiet? Is Romeo Quia going to be quiet? If all the lawmakers in the country got to speak on this issue, because the lawmakers were also voted by the Sarpos. The Sarpo voted for them. They are part of SINOE County. And so we are here to fight injustice. We are here, we are not only, this is a form of corruption by itself. To say that a major group of people that were part of the country before even the establishment of what we have today called Liberia, they will not be part. A Deacon Color tribe will be removed. A Joe Wallet tribe will be removed from the tribal groups in the country. These are the people that fought. Some of the ethnic groups, they did not participate in the liberation struggle in the country. But the tribal group that fought in the liberation, they say, you know what, you don't exist. What is going on in Liberia? What is going on? And one would think that these, the SARPO representatives, 2 SARPO tribes, let's just say organizations in the US, they will be vocal on this issue. But no, they are quiet. Are they participating financially? I know of USAA participating financially. But you see, those of us in the US, we have huge leverage. The people listen to us. And that is why the likes of Charles Taylor, they came from here and destabilized the country. Because the people listen to those of us in the diaspora. And so when we are talking about now, the Francis Myers-led administration will be writing the government, or will write the government of Liberia at the time, or will be writing the Joseph Boakai-led administration right now for this historical blunder to be corrected. They got to. It must be corrected. You cannot erase Dark Sayopode from history, from our own country. How is that possible? Dark Sayopode mean the voice of sign of county. And you say, you know what, Doc, you don't exist. Because when you say that this tribal group, you don't include it in national literature or on the symbols that you print. But then what you are saying, in other words, you are not important. You are unimportant. But guess what? We pay taxes in Liberia as well. We contribute to the national envelope. So why will you take her out? Or we are only good for paying taxes. We are only good for going to war. We participate in, we are members of the armed forces of Liberia. We are only good for protecting the country. But when it comes to representation of us, for us to be reflected, oh no, you are not important. You are crew. You are Krahn. But then the Krahn people get a list of people that are part of them. They don't include the SARPO. The crew people got a list of sections that include them. They exclude the SARPO. Something is fundamentally wrong with this sort of paradigm that I'm saying in Liberia. This marginalization must stop. This discrimination must stop. He has got to stop. And the leaders must get up. They must be vocal on this issue every day. You cannot just speak one time and leave it. It must be a consistent national conversation. Because you know what? If you want something, if you want somebody to take you seriously on something, you must repeat that thing over and over and over and again until people are tired and say, you know what? Let's put this guy on board. Since the people will not use their heads to say, you know what? All of us should be included. They will preach exclusive politics in the country. This exclusion must stop. This omission must be corrected. All right. And so I want to appreciate the campaigners, the Wakoko and the other guys that are going around the country right now, moving from radio station to another, and preaching and trying to educate the people, give them the historical facts surrounding the role the Sarpos have played in the country. Yes, they got to. And so I want to appreciate the USAA for sending $900 to Liberia to support the guys in Liberia to continue with this effort. That's a good move. We don't know about the Sarpo dancers in Minnesota. I don't know whether they are contributing to the fight. They say they are Sarpos, but people imagine they are not recognizing them in Liberia. We don't see them participating in anything. Okay? They are not participating. So, but we want to say congratulations to Frances and her team for sending $900. But this, you cannot only send the money and you don't get results. We must get results from this. It shouldn't be just making donation. If it costs you to write a press release, you do so. If it costs you to call the radio station in Liberia and also add your voice to what the guys are doing, you must do so. The more voices we have on the air, these people will take us seriously. But if we have one or two persons, and also those people they are noise makers. They are not serious people. And we are serious people. We are contributing in everything in our country, with the exception of bad things. We participated in the liberation struggle. When the people were suppressing the indigenous people in the country, some of the tribal groups that they listed on those marks did not participate, but they recognized them. They recognized them. And so this is not fair. This is pure injustice right here. Look at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. What happened to the Sarpos? It should be 17 masks on this money. It should be. It shouldn't be 16. It should not. All right, so now I want to play the campaigners, your campaign in Liberia. Some of their videos. Let me see some of the comment. Okay, thanks for watching. Several people are crying, brother. I want Zile, I want you to come on or call me, and so you can make the argument why the Sarpos are crying. Why when you're listing the 16 sections of the crime, you don't list Sarpo. Why? Kana, do you care? Do you mind to call me? I mean, I can put the number out there and call me so we can have a discussion about this. You said the Sarpos are crime, but the crime got 16 subsections. Of the 16 subsections, the Sarpos are not listed. So how is the Sarpo crime? Kana, I want you to call me. I want to hear, maybe you have a better argument to make to me. I will appreciate it. I love that. I want to be educated. Maybe I don't have certain information that you have. But if you say the Sarpos are crime, okay, granted. Name, if I ask you to name the sections of the crime ethnic group, will you name the Sarpo? No, you wouldn't do that. The same thing, those that are making the argument that the Sarpos are crew, when they name it for the 8 sections of the crew ethnic group, they're not named the Sarpo. Okay. Ethnic groups. You have to make that. You got to make me. You have to make me to understand it. Or Kana. Maybe you know something that I don't know. Naming all those leaders, they said the Sarpo are not recognized. Yes, and kind of yes, those leaders, I can say they blunder themselves, because you cannot be a major actor in the history of your country, but then people are excluding you, they are omitting you from history, and you are quiet about it. And that's why I'm calling the leaders out. They blunder. You produced the first edition of vice president, but people wrote book and they said there are 16 ethnic groups in Liberia, and you are quiet about it. And they're teaching this thing. If the book were under the books were under kept at home in the drawers of the authors, they'll say, okay, no issue with that. But once you pull it into curricula and you start to teach this thing in school, then it is fair for that historical blunder to be corrected. You can't teach people these things, and you don't accurately depict the history of the country. You don't capture the entire population of the country. That is unfair. That is glaring injustice. Let me see the next person here. Sarpo don't need recognition from any government. Governor Aloysius Talu of CBL just show how high level of disrespectfulness to the Sarpo community. History will judge him. Well, if you say we don't need recognition, then why are we making noise? We don't need anybody to recognize you. Then why the government excluded you from the symbols, from the money in the new currency, and you are making noise? We have to seek recognition. I mean, we are not saying the lawman should come and recognize, or we are not saying the GIO should recognize. We don't say the boss should recognize. We don't say the crew should recognize. We are saying our government. We are also participators in the history of the country. We also pay taxes in the country. All right? When the government rather to take money, they don't say, oh, you are Sarpo man, so we are not taking money. They take money from us. And so when you are coming up with things that represent the entire population of the country, we have to be included. So, Mr. Doe, you can't say we don't need recognition from any government. We do. The government represents us. The government is the representation of the people. So he can't say the government, we don't need any recognition from any government. We do. We are the government. And so our government cannot exclude us. We do. We do need a recognition. We don't need the other tribal group to recognize us. But our government should make the effort that everybody should be inclusive. That's my argument here. All right. Kana, thank you. So, Kana, I want to hear your side of the history. Maybe you get something that I don't know. Okay. There is something that you know, I don't know, but I think it's unfair. Now, let's go to the campaigners. So, if you even look at documents, if you look at CIA War Fact Book, right? They put all the countries around the world and they look at the population, they look at all different things, you know. If you look at Liberia, CIA War Fact Book, the Sarpos were captured, right? But then the writers of history, those that making the denomination of our country ourselves, we are excluding other people because we have certain things against certain people. And so we use our personal biases to exclude certain people. But look at the FBI World Fact Book, okay? Yeah, the facts from Liberia, some of the facts. They're saying, for example, the religion in Liberia, Christianity, 85.6%. Muslim, 12.2%. Traditional worship or traditional religion, 0.6%. And other, 0.2%. None, 1.2, 1.5%. Okay? That's what the CIA is capturing. All right? They also look at languages in Liberia. They said English is 20%, which is official, 20%. Some 20 ethnic group languages, 20. So when you need the 20, you will not include SARPO as well. You got to. The 20, the CIA even went forward to say 20 ethnic group languages, few of which can be written or used in correspondence. Okay. Some of the languages are written in Liberia. Okay. You got languages 20. Some of at least 20 ethnic groups languages in Liberia. And then when you go up, let's say ethnic groups, the CIA, they named the ethnic groups in Liberia. You got the Pele, other people saying a 20.3%. You got the Basso, 13.4%. You got the Grebo, 10%. You got the Gio, 8%. You got the Manon, 7.9%. You got the Crew, 6%. You got Loma, 5.1%. You got the Kisi, 4.8%. You got the Gola, 4.4%. You got the Krahn, 4%. You got the Vi, 4%. Mandingo, 3.2%. You got the Bandi, 3%. You got the Mende, 1.3%. The Sapo, 1.3%. All of Liberian, they got 1.7%. All of African, 1.4%. Non-African, 0.1%. Okay, they got the stats. All these things, other people are recognizing the entire population of the country. But some of us, we hate ourselves to the point where we even try to erase ourselves from history. How unjust Mr. Talu will be to say, you know what, the Sarpos should not be included. But Mr. Talu, when I ask you to name the 16 sections of the Krahn ethnic group, why don't you name the Sarpo? Why not? Why Mr. Talu doesn't do that? The former bank governor of Liberia. Why he's a Krahn man? And the theory is, the cliche is the Sarpo are part of the Krahn. But why, when you name the 16 sections of the Krahn tribe, you don't name Sarpo? Well, just the same way the Krahn has 16 sections, the Sarpo got 6. They got the Kabade, they got the Sinkon, they got the Putu, they get the Weja, they get the Nmopo, and I'm missing one I'm missing somewhere. There are 6 of them. They don't name any other tribal groups in Liberia. So this injustice must stop. If Liberia should move forward, the first thing we have to do is to recognize every citizen of the country. We cannot use our biases. When we send you, when you represent us, you cannot use your biases to erase us. This is when one of the guys, the chairman for the SARPO campaigners, Mr. Wakoko, when he said, this is a form of genocide. You are trying to say, intellectually erase the SARPO from non-existent. They don't exist, even though they exist in Liberia. But you say, you know what, you don't exist. We are not going to put you on any national symbol. No. And that's how you foment tension. That's how you foment conflict. That's how you foment chaos in the country. Because when other people are contributing to the national growth and everything that the country does, the same way you contribute, these people will also contribute or more than you. But then you use whatever personal issue you have and you exclude these people. And you exclude them. And I'm not seeing a tumultuous demonstration from the SARPO people. They would have got two guys going from one radio station to another. After the guy finished talking, you know what? Another program coming on the feeling with that thing. People should be agitating right now in Liberia. They have to go in front of the Capitol building to say, no, there's injustice, or go in front of the bank or governor office, wherever he is, and let the blunder be corrected. Because this money is in circulation right now. And what that means is, this is anywhere the money goes right now. These 16 tribes are what they will recognize. They don't know the other people. You can't do that. You can't erase other people from their own land. You can't do that. That is unfair. That is egregious injustice. All right, so let me see here. Yeah, I want to appreciate Francisca Myers and her team for helping those guys to launch the campaign. But I think they have to do something bigger than this. They have to, the same way when Milton TJ were trying to take their land and they put protesters in the street, they got to do the same thing here. You cannot want to go on radio station here. You have to agitate for your right. If you don't agitate for your right, the certain people, they are just there to take your rights away. They will do so. They will do anything to erase you from your own country. You exist in Liberia. You pay taxes. You hold, or you have held major positions in the country. But certain people are saying you don't exist. They cannot recognize you. You got to do something about this. You can't say you have educated people and other people are stepping on you and you are quiet. And you only depend on Wakoko and Chin to speak for you. No, it should be a better protest than this. The SARPO and Polo in Liberia got to organize our people to go to the Capitol building or anywhere to hold the leaders to an account why they were excluded. They went to court and all of that. And the court, those biased guys at the court, they are saying the Sarpos, they are Krahn, they are crew. Okay, but then they cannot delineate the branches, the sections of those tribes to name the Sarpo. No, they don't do that. The Krahn people don't recognize the Sarpo people as Krahn. The crew people don't recognize the Sarpo people as crew, because when they name their various sections, they don't name the Sarpo. So why are we erasing these people from history? Why are you trying to erase that Sayapode? I pay taxes. Even I'm overseas, I'm still supporting the economy over there because I send money. We call it remittances. We send the money to help the economy. But I know we are not part of anything in Liberia. We are not recognized. That is total nonsense. That is total nonsense. No tribal group in Liberia will take this. No. Had this happened to the Gills, for example, Prince Johnson will put the people in the street. Had they happened to the Pele people, for example, their leaders will put the people in the street. Had they happened to the Loma, the leaders will put their people in the street to fight against the injustice. Yeah, but the Sarpo people, they are sitting down. They are waiting for buying Wakoko and Chin to speak for them. No, you need a massive national protest. Everywhere that the Sarpo people exist in Liberia, they got to stand up. They are being marginalized. They are being erased. They are being the people are saying they amount to nothing in the country. That's what it means. That is why the guys that wrote, that printed the money, the message they are sending. Again, from the beginning of the podcast, I told you, if you want to delegitimize somebody, the first thing you do is to erase the person from history. It's to put the person down. It's not to recognize the person. You call the person different names. Again, so that's why during slavery in America, the black people were not recognized as full human beings. Then up to now, the Constitution of the United States, they are saying the black man, it 3/5 of a human being. You are not full human being yet. That's how when somebody wants to pull you down, that's what they do. And that's what we are doing in Liberia. A major ethnic group, the people that was on the land before the colonizer, or what you call them, the American Liberian came. They say ourselves, because of tribal hatred, because of tribalism that exists amongst us. We say, you know what? The other people don't exist. Okay, then you asking me to pay taxes. I'm a taxpayer. I pay taxes. I contribute to everything that happens in the country. But then you say, you know what? You are not recognized. What sort of injustice is that? And what kind of country are we building? What kind of country is that? When we were marginalized ourselves because of tribalism, because of sectionalism, because of nepotism, and all the isn't out there. What is wrong with us? Alosha Talu, a bank governor, a Krahn man, trying to erase his brother from history. Imagine that. A Krahn man is trying to erase a SARPO man from history. Even though the Krahn man and the SARPO man were the guys that launched the revolution that toppled the oligarchs in the country. But no, we say the Sarpos are not recognized. What is wrong with us? Dr. King said, injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. This injustice perpetrated by the government of Liberia, our government, must be corrected. You cannot print our money. We say democracy. If you want to use the definition of Abraham Lincoln, the government of the people, by the people, and for the people. The government is for us. So our government cannot discriminate against us. We are taxpayers too. We are taxpayers. We hold major positions in the country. So we cannot be discriminated against. We will fight. It's another revolution in Liberia. If you don't correct this blunder, we got heroes and heroines. We're going to challenge the status quo. Now, this blunder committed by George Weah and his southeastern government, the guys that failed us. The blame now goes, this now has transferred to Joseph Boakai. And we hope that President Boakai will make this correction. This correction will be made by President Joseph Boakai. Because the last time I checked, I listened to President Boakai on one of the radio stations, I think it was VOA, and the guy said, what are you going to do? People are accusing you of being a tribalist. And the president said, I'm not a tribalist. I don't know what tribalism is. And so this tribal decision that was made by Elisha Kotu, or not Kotu, but Talu and others, our president, who is not a tribalist, must correct this. If Joseph Boakai tribal group is excluded, he will be on the streets. If Jawia tribe had been excluded from the national symbol, Jawia will be on the street. But we are here. We get accountants, we get, philosophers, engineers, different professionals. But you know what? People are marginalizing us. And that is not important to us. No, we're quiet. And no, me, I would not be quiet. When it is wrong, I'm going to speak to it. This is Egregiously wrong. It's unacceptable for we, the landowner, to be excluded from our own land. You are teaching our children in school, and you are saying that other people don't exist in the country. This got to be corrected. This is what we call miseducation of the Liberian children. You are giving them the wrong education. This is not balanced education. This is not holistic education. This is not comprehensive education. This is not encyclopedic education. The education, if you are educating the people, our children, it has to be comprehensive, especially when you are talking about the population, when you are talking about the people that inherit, that occupy the land. Everyone should be recognized. He can do pick and choose, and you drill that erroneous knowledge in the children's head. He can do that. That is miseducation you are doing in the country. And I'm glad I'm hearing information that the Ministry of Education has redacted her books and included the SARPO. That's how it's supposed to be. Not only the SARPO, any tribal group in Liberia, any section of the country excluded must be included. That's how you properly educate the people. You can't do one-sided education, and you want us to be quiet about it. Some of our people here, one would have thought they will come on the platform to join me. No, but they are scared. Bunch of scary people. They don't want to talk. So people can look at it and say, tribal. No, it is not tribal. It's injustice. Somebody telling me, I send all that money to Liberia to help the economy. I'm educating people in Liberia. I pay taxes. My children pay taxes. My family pay taxes. But then when you printing money, you say, no, you don't exist. And the people in here, they can't talk. They can't come on Voice of Sound or other platforms to say, let us talk. Let's speak up, all of us. No, the other day, it's scary. They're scared. Bunch of scary people. Bunch of scary people. But I will do the talking for you, saying you are afraid to stand up for yourself. You don't want to stand up for yourself. You want somebody to speak for you, to be your spokesperson. You want Wakoko to talk for you. You want change. The more, the merrier. The more, the merrier. The more people you have speaking, the better traction you will get. But no, they're scary. No, they're scary. There are a lot of people that are talking, they know more than you, or they can speak that grammar. You want to, if you can't you speak your language, there's nothing wrong with that. We're going to be speaking foreign language in the first place. You got to speak foreign language. English is foreign language. Okay? So that's our people. We're scared. But we're ready to talk about each other and go beyond and talk. But when it comes to talk about serious matter or serious issues, oh no, we're quiet. We're scared. Oh, we don't want need a spot. We don't want somebody to look at you ugly. Oh no. You got to speak for yourself. The CIA is speaking for you, but you can't speak for yourself. How is that possible? How is that possible? Other people are speaking, they are non-Liberians, they are including you and say, oh, here are the population, they are the people that live on this land. But now our people then will give power. The people that we give power in Liberia, they are saying, you know what, we're going to discriminate against certain people. Yes, we're going to discriminate. We'll tell you that we don't respect you. I mean, this is pure disrespect and rudeness to the highest level, to the SARPO people. If you want to talk in your house, that's different thing. But once you leave your house and you start to print national papers, symbols, and you're leaving people out, what is wrong with you guys in that country? A Lusha Kotu of Talu of all people. A Lusha Talu leaving people out. When Thomas Wesley had not fought, a Lusha Talu would not be bank governor. Because the American Liberian at the time, they took the indigenous people to be trash. They wouldn't even allow you to come closer to power. It took people that Thomas Wesley to make people like Elisha Talu to come closer to power. But no, Elisha Kotu is, well, I can't say Kotu, Talu. Elisha Talu, and maybe I had a former classmate, and that's why his name, I can remember Kotu. But it's Talu. Elisha Talu is marginalized intolerant people in the country. Oh, yes. That's what they're doing. Because the SARPO people, they have a legitimate concern. Because their concern was legitimate. Doe and Wesson launched the revolution. And because Wesson was far educated than Doe, he was popular, so Doe went and killed Wesson. This created a friction. That's how people will be vexed with the Krahn, and not the other way around for Talu to erase SARPO people, because it's the Krahn that killed the SARPO major national leader. No, Elisha Talu, they are discriminating against people. If had the SARPO man killed a Krahn man, then you will have a case. But as it is right now, you don't have a case, Elisha Talu. No, you don't. And I cannot only put their foot on Elisha Talu alone. It's the entire government. That blame goes on George Weah, a massive failure. It goes on Weah. You print in national money, a country money, and you say, okay, all the tribal groups be reflected, and you left other people out. And that is not an issue to the leader of the country. But then again, we are not seeing enough agitation from the people that are being marginalized. We're not seeing enough agitation. I want to see a huge protest in Liberia. Huge protests from the SARPO people to speak for themselves. This is not time for Wakoko alone to talk. No. Mavi Zaza should be talking. Romeo Kuya should be talking. Prosper Brown should be talking. Sonny Boy Noah should be talking. All the people then I said they get all the top positions, including those or all that are in the kitchen. Let all of us get up and talk. Because we all pay taxes in the country, just like the other tribes they recognize. We do the same thing that they do. We are not excluded from anything when it comes to contribution in the country. So why are we excluded? We got Dr. Olumenya there. They are not speaking to these things. Oh, doctor, and the people erase you from history. And Dr. Olumenya, they are not talking. No. That is the biggest disrespect to a citizen. We have citizen credential in the country. We are citizens of Liberia. But no, we are not recognized. We are not indigenous group. When we go to the Pele people, they say, no, the Pele Sapora, they are not Pele. When we go to the Gio, they say, no, the Sarpos are not Gio. When you go to the Grebo, the Sarpo are not Grebo. When you go to the Bassa, the Sarpo are not Bassa. When you go to the Crew, the Sarpo are not Crew. When you go to the Krahn, the Sarpo. But who are we? Why are you taxing us? Why are we paying taxes in the country? Why? We are not part of the other tribal groups. But you don't want to recognize it. But you're taking money from us. The people are saying you are all important. Now, what Elisha Talu then telling you? They are saying you are not important. And you are important. Because the role you play in Liberia history, Elisha Talu has not played that role before. He did not fight to liberate you. It's a SARPO man that did that. It's not Elisha Talu. So this embarrassment of a bad governor, this blunder he made, and they will go to court and defend these things. That nonsense. That's total nonsense. For Elisha Talu then to go defend it, Talu then to go defend that thing in court. The man damaged himself. Yes. It's done the whole Liberia before. Well charted or then Milton Teji, then you should say anything. This is a different Liberia. The war is open. And so we are here. We, the soldier of justice, we want to fight for our rights. We will fight for other people's rights. If other people's rights have been trampled upon, we will not be quiet. So let's listen to the campaigners, for example, what the campaigners are saying. Let's listen to the interview
It's
here.
almost like gribble.
Exactly.
Different kinds of gribble.
Yes, we got 6 sections in the SARPO tribe.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yes. So, yeah, thank you.
And buy means carry somebody.
Yes, Banyo. Yeah. It means
And
to
so
carry.
so who your family were carrying for which you
No, it's not that they were carrying somebody, but really, sometimes, there are issues.
were you seeing as an escort or some there must be something associated with that name. There's a reason.
Yes. You see, the name of Julius is, in fact, the full name is Tene Banyo. Tene Banyo. So when there are issues, usually they will not carry the human being, that only money you can spend.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So that's
And
the
then
name.
Wakoko.
Wakoko, my dad, actually his real name was Wa. And whenever he does good things for his mother and father, they always present as a Wakoko. That means very strong man.
Okay.
Yes.
So that became a last name.
Yeah, that became my surname.
Okay.
Yes.
And we also have with us the SG, the chief pen pusher. Is that it? Let me go there and be sure. Yeah, we have he's the coach here. Sia Chengbe Chen.
Yes, that's my name.
Okay. Chengbe Chen.
Yeah.
You have this Chinese like kind of name.
Oh yes, I'm Sia Chengwei Chen, and all the names are just support name. Yeah, they are traditional names.
So because when he sent me the message first, I thought it was a lady, the SIAH.
No, it's Sia.
Okay, Sia tired or something.
To be tired.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that is include and so on. To be tired of something. Actually, it's a contextual. You also can go to A and say, once like you talk something over and over and you get tired talking. So I won't say. So you get college and say, you tired of something. Yes.
Sia Chengbe.
Chengbe, we are in January. That month is characterized by cold and Amatawin geographically. So the first month of the year in SARPO is called Chengbe.
Okay.
So as we speak now, we are in Chengbe Cho. That means
Chengbe Cho.
Yeah, Chengbe month.
Yeah.
Because Cho in SARPO, it means month. So Chengbe is a month that got plenty of cold.
So Chengbe Cho.
Chen is to get vexed sometimes.
Your name is a very strong name. It seems to be associated with your campaign.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Okay. Well, you have an issue. Let's set the basis. I want to be very honest with you. Until I was told about your campaign, I started reading some things. I myself did not know.
Okay.
That you were a full. I had thought you were under like a sub-session under another tribe. Krahn.
See, imagine the journalist saying that, right? Because that's the miseducation of the people. Because if you don't give the people the right education, the people go with wrong things.
That is what I have been thinking. So, lay the basis for us.
Yeah. You are not alone in thinking that way, Julius. But the SARPO people, they came to this country before the Republic of Liberia was established. From the 1400s, coming to the 1500s, we came to this land called Liberia to settle. We settle here. We have our own way of life. We are distinct from other people. We have our own way of life. That set us apart from the Krahn, the Crew, the Gravos, the Basso around us. Even though all of us make up the core group. But actually, Julius, the issue with the SARPO people that we are now, campaigning against started when the Central Bank of Liberia printed the new currency that we are using in the market now.
Okay.
When they printed the currency, they started to do civic education about the signs and symbols that are used on the denominations. And on the $1,000 denomination, they have 16 marks representing 16 tribes according to the Central Bank of Liberia.
Do you have 1,000 note? I don't think I have it here. I have 500.
No, I don't have one now.
Okay, maybe when Julius comes back.
And Julius, I don't even want to carry one. I don't even want to carry one. You can't weaponize the country or the currency of our country against us, and I'll be carrying it around. I don't want to carry one. So when they did the printing, according to them, the 16 marks on the back of the $1,000 note represent 16 tribes. When we heard that, we said, no, Central Bank, you are incorrect. That number is...
How did you tell them? What did you do?
We, after hearing the messages that were propagating on radio through radios and newspapers, we wrote to the bank governor to inform him, to bring him to, to book.
Do you have a copy of that letter?
Oh, yes, I do.
Yeah, you can give it to us. Let's because everything here we got to be...
yeah.
Yeah.
You can see the copy of the letter.
Okay.
Yes.
Can I read it?
Oh, yes. Go ahead.
Dear Governor Talu, this was written November 30, 2022.
Yes.
Okay. We are extremely humbled to again thank you for the tremendous job done and you continue to do to improve the monetary policy of our country. Mr. Governor, over a week ago, the eminent citizens of the SARPO tribe sent a communication to you. In that communication, we expressed our concerns regarding the omission of SARPO, tribe in the design and specifications of the newly printed $1,000 Liberian banknotes to be infused into the Liberian economy. In the design of the $1,000 banknote, Mr. Governor, the Central Bank of Liberia put in 16 human specimens, cultural masks, whom it indicated represent the 16 tribes of Liberia. Honorable Governor, this information is incorrect and therefore needs to be corrected because Liberia has 17 tribes. According to the 2008 population census, Liberia has 17 tribes in SARPO, which constitute one.
You don't even need a census report to validate the existence of SARPO in Liberia. No, you don't need a census report to tell you that.
2% of the population is the latest tribe that was added. In recognition of this reality, the Ministry of Education of the Republic of Liberia has revised and updated its history curriculum with SARPO as the 17th tribe of Liberia. This information was available prior to the design and printing of the $1,000 Liberian banknotes. However, the CBL is yet to respond to the concerns raised. We refuse to believe that its action or inaction is deliberate. But we are sure the CBL will agree with us that this situation is very stressful and depressing for our people. Hence, we sincerely request a meeting with you to discuss this grave issue. We are not prepared to take this issue lightly because it has a propensity to obscure our identity and jeopardize our status as an ethnic group in Liberia. Given the gravity of this matter, we will consider all options, including legal action, to maintain the cultural and bone identity of the SARPO ethnic group of Liberia. That is it. Okay, so what was the response? What happened?
Up to this time, Julius, the governor has not replied to the SARPO people. After he refused to reply to the SARPO people, we went to see a lawyer. Because that was the second communication to him. We went to see a lawyer. The lawyer wrote to him. He refused to respond. So, looking at all of that, we decided to go to court. We decided to take the Central Bank to court so that our rights as citizens of Liberia, as a tribal group in Liberia, be restored or be accorded us as we have done with other people. about the country. So we went to court, and their argument was that, oh no, SARPO people, you are fragmented people. They were floundering to find justification for their answer. You are fragmented people because some of you are settled in Green County and others are in SINOE County. So
I mean, look at it, the frivolous and impious argument they were making. The arguments are very weak. Why would anybody listen to that? Oh, you're fragmented people, therefore you don't exist? What kind of argument is that? What sort of argument the bank would be making? The Sarpos are fragmented, therefore they can be recognized. Okay. Which tribe in Liberia is not fragmented? Which tribe in Liberia is cohesive, that is not fragmented, that is not dispersed in other counties across the country? So Elisha Talu is a horrible leader. He has something personal against the Sarpos. To make the kind of argument, listen to what the campaigner was saying.
For that, you ceased to exist as a tribe. So we say, wow. In fact, this statement, okay, equate this to ethnic cleansing and genocide against the SARPO people.
No, it hasn't come to that.
No, that one.
Julia, that's psychological genocide. You are saying the people don't exist. That's what you are saying in other words. That is mental genocide. That's psychological genocide. Intellectual genocide you committed against the people. Or the people are fragmented and therefore they should not be recognized. Do not exist. So you are mentally wiped out the people from the country. That's what it is, Julius.
That's what it is. When the state is saying that you cease to exist as a tribe, that's a serious matter. That's very serious. That's a human rights issue.
Others say you are a dialect and not a tribe specifically. What constitutes a tribe?
Good. So the question is, what are the attributes? Firstly, we have the same way of life. We have the same tradition. We have a geographical location that when you come to Liberia, yes, you can identify that this area has been populated by SARPO people.
What are the areas?
We have Putu from Grand Gideon extending to Mopo in SINOE. And that landmass that the SARPO people occupy is bigger than Bombay County.
Huh?
Oh, yes. Because when you look at Liberia, SINOE County is the third largest county in landmass.
So even to add to that, you will see that even the Sarpos National Park.
Yeah, the Sarpos National Park. I've heard about that.
You can see here. I'm talking about entire biodiversity, which is the Sarpos National Park. It's about 180,000 hectares.
Wow.
No human dwelling, no hunting, no farming, no fishing.
I mean, that's a key point over there. You have a tribe that has the national park in your country, but then you say these people don't exist. What sort of nonsense is that? The Sarpo National Park. There is no tribe in Liberia that has a park named after them. But then you say, you know what? These people don't exist. We can put down the national symbols.
And this is where we have the land. You can read it. This is 180,000 hectares. No human near this area. From where we live to go to the Sarpos National Park is a 4-kilometer walk. Equivalent to about 3 to 4 hours to get to the SINOE River. So, if you say that you talk about cultural landscape, someone mentioned that in their response. And they talk about cultural factors. Geographically, to talk about cultural factor, you have to talk about what? Human dwelling. Cultural landscape. It's why we give you the cultural rights, The first question the people will ask is where's your landscape? When for Tiama town.
Now, before we go deeper into this case, let me carry you back.
For Tiama town, you put to Grangide, to Peloke, to Jaudi, to Kabadi, to Kainville, Vubadi, Plain Dalebo, Peloke, Joazon, Weja, Plain Dalebo, and all those areas, Tuba Town, Niplupo, SINOE, and you name all extended to Numopo. The areas that people are dwelling in the SARPO land now, including the park, so far is the larger land now in Salokandi. So when people come and say, no, but where the SARPO people, where are they? We have cultural landscape. We have cultural landscape. So in cultural study, you will see that people have their own landscape, they have their own way of life. They have their own way of life.
And then language.
And language.
Language is a major part.
Language is a major part. So they have major part to play in cultural geography. So we have our landscape. People don't go. If you ask anybody who went to SARPO land, they will tell you.
You see the issue of the dialect, you know. I mean, these are some of the frivolous arguments some people make to diminish other people. You know, the argument of dialect was brought by the European to Africa. Our languages, they don't want our languages to be on par with their languages, so they call our languages dialect. You know, and so our own people, they take on these suppressive philosophy, these dehumanizing philosophy, and they use them to put their own people down. The languages, that's why I don't like the word tribe. We have ethnic groups in Africa. All right? But these guys that came, the European came, they said, oh, that tribe, that dialect, just to put other people down. And our people, they perpetuate, they continue with this colonial philosophy, this sort of colonial divisive thinking. That's what they do.
Coming back to the case now, has it ended or is still in court?
The central bank, together with the Justice Ministry, because the central bank even is being represented by international law group. I think international justice group, the one belonging to Deputy Speaker Funati Kofa, that is a part of. They, together with the Ministry of Justice, filed a motion to dismiss the case on grounds that, in fact, we cease to exist as a tribal group. Because, again, we are in Grangide County and we are in SINOE County.
But there are tribes that are in different counties.
Exactly so. The Basel people, they are in Grand Basel County, they are in River Sales County, they are in Magibi County, they are in Mosurado County. The Krahns are in Grangide County and they are in Nima County. The district, Babli district in Nima County is populated by Krahn people. The Pele people are in Bon County, they are in Lofa County, they are in Magibi, they are in Bapolo. You got the Crews, they are in Maryland, they are in Green Crew, they are in SINOE, they are in River Sales, and they are in Mosurado County. How is it that only SARPO people are supposed to be excluded? That's the issue.
So in terms of your record,
this is just palpable discrimination. Certain people in the power structure, they just don't like the Sarpos. And so they are trying to erase them from history. They are trying to erase them from existence, which you cannot do. You can try, but you will not win the battle. We'll win at the end of the day.
Nation, where did it come from?
I think recognition of tribes are done, or recognition of tribes all over the world are done by researchers. So take, for example, Julius, if you went to the Gola Forest, for example, and you saw a group of people, that language or their culture in totality is different from the Gola people, the Va people over there. You say, oh, in Liberia, we finished writing our history, so these people, they're not part of us. They are not a tribe. Because tribal people are people that have similar culture. That include language, as you said. Language, the food they eat, the way they build their houses, the way they dress, all these things make up our culture. So you can't say, oh no, when the settlers came here in 1822, they are reading our history and so our history is complete. Can you imagine? So that's what the central bank is saying.
So what did the court say about this matter?
So the court said we like jurisdiction, subject matter jurisdiction over the case.
And we can show that.
So
What does that mean when they say you like?
yeah, okay. It means that this matter you're bringing before me, it will be for me. I don't have the authority.
Oh, it was the court that said they don't.
They are the civil law court.
They don't have the authority.
Yes, because they lack subject matter jurisdiction.
So you're supposed to carry away.
So what we did, we took an appeal to the Supreme Court.
Okay.
So now we are at the Supreme Court. And we know that we'll get justice because I don't think the Supreme Court will want to exclude.
When was the recognition documented? Because let me play something here for the public. That you all shared with me. This is who?
William Allen.
That is Dr. William C. Allen. He's an authority on Liberian history.
Okay.
Yes.
C. William Allen, authority, and this was during the bicentennial celebration.
Yes.
Folks, let's listen to this.
The four groups are the free blacks from the United States, the indigenous people, the Congo people, and the Barbadian immigrants. All of them were here in 1822 or came shortly thereafter. I will therefore spend a little more time on the lesser known histories of the Congos and the Barbadians. So I begin, the indigenous people. The indigenous people comprise Liberia's 17 ethnic groups. According to the census of 2008, they added another indigenous group, the SARPO. So we went from 16 ethnic groups to 70 ethnic groups according to the census of 2008.
Okay. So a historian recognizes your addition in 2008 as the 17th tribe making up the indigenous group of Liberia. Very interesting.
Yeah, Julius, before you continue, that statement was made based on the 2008 census report.
Yeah.
And if you go to that census report, the SARPO population there is 43,327. You go to
that was way in 2008.
Yes.
Yeah.
You go to Dane people, they are 11,712. You go to Bella people, they are 26,513.
So the census that was just held could even have your numbers higher.
Exactly. So when you combine Dane and Bella tribe or number, it still can reach our numbers. Yet, our government is saying we cease to exist as a tribal group. Can you imagine that? So you are telling us, because what you're saying is that we are more or less stateless. Because statelessness.
No, you account. I won't say stateless. It is more or less of you being subsumed into other groups.
No, that
It was subsumed in other groups. Which group? You know, Julius should not make this kind of argument. You know, which group subsumed the SARPO ethnic group? Not the crew, not the Krahn. Why? Because the crew has 48 sections. The SARPO are not included in the 48 sections. The SARPO has, not the SARPO, but the Krahn has 16 sections. the Sarpos are not included in the Krahn. So which ethnic group subsumes or subsumed the Sarpo? All right? So you can't make this kind of fallacious argument just to exclude your fellow citizens.
Not that. I'm talking about still less because there are two ways you can make someone still less. Still less come about through de jure or de facto. De jure is by law. When the government passes a law seizing your rights or taking away your rights.
But in this case, it is not. Because what the law, which is the census that was approved by the legislature, says is you are a tribe.
Yes. That's what I'm coming to. So, but de facto means you are denying us things that we're supposed to enjoy in our own country. Take, for example, the money printed, the $1,000 banknote is a national artifact. And we are not found on it. So where do we belong? We are not found on it. So where do we belong? Where should we put ourselves? So even though you're not passing law to make us still less, but de facto means you are making us still less. Because national artifacts of the country, we are not being represented when others are being represented. And that's very terrible. That's very terrible.
Okay.
Wakoko is doing a great job. He's doing a great job. Because the national artifacts that he's talking about, which part of it is the money, right? The money has symbols. It has national depictions on it. It has things on that money that represents the country. Okay, and these things can be they can be taught in school or schools across the country. So, say the 1,000 banknote right now that has 16 traditional or indigenous masks on it, representing 16 tribes. You teach this to the children in the school. Guess what? The mind cannot teach or cannot learn what it doesn't know. So you teach 16 to the children. That's what they're going to learn. That's what they're going to take. Meanwhile, you have more than 16 ethnic groups in your country. So you are representing your history erroneously, falsely, unjustly. This is fake education you are giving our children. You don't do that. The different demographics, the different population of the country, they must be holistically included when you are doing these national stuff. Because again, the SARPO people, they are taxpayers. So you cannot exclude them from their own country. They have a SARPO national park. It's not a SARPO regional park. It is a SARPO sectional park. National, the whole country. The park is named after the SARPOs. But you print the money and you left them out. What kind of nonsense is that? Who does that?
If we go back in history, you were recognized under which tribe?
Oh, okay. Let me take you back to 1860.
1860. Okay.
Yes, we are talking about the migratory period.
You mean 1816?
I'm saying 1860.
Okay, 60. Yeah.
And 1850.
Okay.
And the migratory period started 1000 AD to 1400. And we all started coming to Liberia. When we were coming, we have the northern crown, the eastern crown. We had the Grebo and we had the Sarpo. But the northern crown left in Arago. And then the eastern crown, the Grebo and the Sarpo enter in Liberia. And the present configuration of the crown today is from the one originated from the Sarpo and the Grebo. So, by 1860 and 1850, this book was written by a German geographer, Willis Ossie. William Sorsi taught at the University of Liberia in 1975. And this book is called A New Geography of Liberia. And go on page 45. You will see that the SARPO, the Grebo, and the Krahn were living together. The history told that the three group parted in 1860 or 1850. And what parted then, that story is yet to be known. But some writers or researchers want to guess that because there were too much inter-tribal wars and that SARPO were ahead of the Krahn and the Grebo and the SARPO were moving south. We were moving to the sea. So, we go back and look at the 1835 map of Liberia. When Liberia got three counties. Mascherado, Grand Basel, and San County. So you will see that they will have biographs. You know what they call biographs? Are those graphs are extending up.
Yeah.
SARPO on that biograph, 1845. So that map is available. If you want it, we can send it to you. So you will see that we are only discussing today because somebody just said, recognize something. Some manipulation that be going on, some marginalization that be going on. And these kind of things are what we are fighting now. That's why we need ourselves campaigners. And we'll continue to fight them.
Now,
and make and make the public to understand. The silence is too long.
Okay, and so now you have chosen to speak. Are there other places apart from the SARPO National Park and the towns that you live in that your name is recognized or that your name is supposed to be on certain places or they are not there?
Yes. But before I come to that, the SARPOs, as citizens of this country, we've been making significant contribution to the development of Liberia.
Okay.
We started multi-party democracy when Bakoma came and started to agitate and, multi-party democracy came to Liberia. SARPOs were there. The likes of Oscar Quia, the likes of D. Kankala, the likes of Professor Richard Espanton. These guys were there. We sacrificed.
Is it the Richard Panton that I've been talking to?
Probably yes.
Okay.
Well, he teaches at the graduate school.
Okay.
Deacon Kala, Honorable Deacon Kala, I think he's a commissioner at the Governor's Commission.
Mm-hmm.
So we've been making contribution. Come to 1980, when the soldiers decided to overthrow the tribal government, whether for the right reason or wrong reason, that's what I don't know. But when you look at the configuration of that government, the first vice head of state was a SARPO man. Major General Thomas Western.
From Pakistan.
If Western had been a Krahn man, I don't think those 17 gentlemen would have taken 2 Krahn people, one to be president, other to be vice president. When you have Grebo like Jerry Friday, when you have Kuyomba, you had J. Nicholas Portier, you have Swen Dixon. So they knew exactly that the SARPOs and the Krahn are not the same people. Because even the Constitution of Liberia forbids 2 persons coming from the same county to be leaders of our country. It's in our Constitution. So the SARPO people have been making tremendous contribution. Come to when Taylor came to town. When Charles Taylor came to town in 1995, when the transitional government was being set up, and the civilians needed a representative, Oscar Jaikuya was elected to the state council. He's a SARPO man, or he was a SARPO man. So we've been making a lot of contributions. You talk about places. I think I have a letter here from former President Samuel Kayendo. Do you want to read that as well?
Mm-hmm, yes, I have it.
Oh, you have it.
I have this letter written.
But let me make the point first.
Mm-hmm.
The community now called Duo Community on a freeway. That community, when it was established, it was called SARPO Community. Again, there was this rigmarole about why the community should be named SARPO community, and a lot of people decided to fight that the name SARPO community be changed. When that name was changed, or when they were attempting to change the name, our people decided to complain to President Doe. Just read the reply that President Doe sent to our governor.
The Executive Mansion, Office of the President, Monrovia, Liberia.
And tell the public when that letter was written.
How come you call it right here? July 11, 1989. On July 11, 1989, this letter was written. You can see how old it is right in my hands, folks. I am playing with history right in my hands. Madam Governor, I have carefully reviewed the long-standing controversy between the SARPO and Krahn factions residing in a newly established community near the slaughterhouse on the freeway over the naming of said community. Accordingly, it is my decision that the name SARPO community be maintained for the area. Hence, this matter is considered closed. Kind regards, faithfully yours, Samuel Kayondo, President. I see his signature here. Madam Annie Sedi, SARPO Governor, SARPO Community, Monrovia, Liberia.
So you see there? Not only that. So who fought our people to change the name of the community?
Back to the Doe community.
Yeah.
The place they call Doe community.
Yeah. So they decided to call the place Doe community. Are these the same people fighting us today? That when you pray money for the country, you should exclude the SARPO people when the records are clear? Are they the same people?
So Julius, let me come in. We've been talking about SARPO people contribution in the Republic of Liberia, not only in SINOE County. We talk about somebody talking about social factor in their response. And when we say social factor, what are the contributions that SARPO people are making? As we speak, in Pelican, single statutory district, the SARPO people children, their fathers, their brothers and sisters, they are seen in need to help their people on the ground. Under construction now is a $150,000 United States health center in Pelican that's supposed to serve people from Vupadi, serve people from Zanwea Town, serve people from Giru Town, from Digbe Town, Mafole, and the surrounding area. Because government built hospital there and the hospital cannot get out to the catchment areas. So they have decided, say, no, when government is working here, we are not going to ask government to say, help our people, help our people. The SARPO people, they are undertaking a project now that's supposed to be completed by next year. That delegation will be done in next year, by 2025. SARPO people, they are making tremendous contribution.
Okay.
When you go to Dwason, government bill, clean it. But where will the nurses start? Where will the PA start? They came in again and helped government by building 2 nursing quarters. One costed 75,000 each. I mean, money to standard. They went to Pine Town. I'm talking about development of the SARPO people.
Yeah, sure.
They went to Pine Town and built another nursing
I want
quarter
to bring you to a point. Putu, because there is a debate on our live page. Putu, is Putu Krahn or SARPO?
Oh, they are SARPO.
They are SARPO.
They are SARPO people.
They are part of the 6 sections.
The SARPO has 6 sections.
Okay.
We get Putu, we get Weja, we get Kabade, we get Cinco.
So the Putu mountain is
SARPO name.
Or let me give you the historical, or let me just historicize something small. Before Green Gide was created, in 1964, that area was part of SINOE County.
Up to
yes, part of SINOE County. So our research showed that former legislator Honorable Bill Waterspoon and President Thomas used to have little bickering, and so when President Thomas decided to create those counties, because of maybe new mining, concessions were coming to Liberia, and so he decided to put that mountain into Grand Gide so that they would mine and take the the concession products to Maryland County.
Okay.
So depriving SINOE of royalties from the mountain. So that's why he did that. So it's gerrymandering that took Putu from SINOE and placed them into Green County. And Julius, I think you agree with me that the Pele people in Lofa, they are Pele people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Not because you're in Lofa, so when you Pele man, then you Loma man. How does that happen? The Kru people in River said they are Kru people. How can only Sarpo people, when they are located in another area, then they should abandon their identity? That's the same work of the schemers.
Now
they are still flying around.
Yeah, Wakoko is doing a marvelous job.
When you
Wakoko is doing a marvelous job educating the people, because some of these things they're just elementary for anybody to argue them. I mean, I look at Mr. Chengbe was naming foreign geographer, writer. I mean, we don't need to be written into our history. We're part of that stuff. The history of Liberia, we are Liberians. We are not Nigerians. We are not Ghanaians. We are not, Sierra Leone. We are Liberians. So to exclude us from our own country, our own government, something is fundamentally wrong. See what these guys are saying. Wakoko is making a cogent argument that cannot be refuted by anybody. Grand Judah was once part of SINOE County. And because of, the government has the authority, had the constitution to create new counties. They created new counties, and that's how the mountain now called Putu falls in Grand Judah County. But these were all part of SINOE County. All these Judah Mountain and all different things that fall in Grand Judah, they were all part of county because originally Liberia had 3 counties. You see? And the man used the word gerrymandering. The people trying to fragment the place into different regions, and how they created some of these things. And that's how, unfortunately, portion of the SARPO falls in Grand Judah County. But like Mr. Wakoko rightly said, for the fact that you dwell in certain region, there are some of us right now that are in the U.S. Does that mean we are not Africans? We are Africans. We are Liberians. The fact that you find yourself in a different geographical certain does not change your identity. And I like this. The guys are doing well.
You see as an escort or some there must be something associated with that name. There's a reason.
Yes. You see, the name of Julius is in fact the full name is Tene Banyo. Tene Banyo. So when there are issues, usually they will not care what the human being, that only money you can spend.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So that's
and then Wakoko.
Wakoko.
All right, so guys, that was the campaigners for the injustice that has been perpetrated, inflicted upon a major indigenous tribe of Liberia or ethnic group. I like that word better. The government deliberately decided to extirpate, uproot, erase a major group in the country from the history. And so when they are crafting, when they are printing national symbols, they take certain people out. They removed certain people. Because certain people, the powers that be, those that are in authority, they have their personal issues, personal animosity against certain people, certain tribal groups. And so they infuse their action on decision making, which is unfortunate. And I like the fact that these 2 knowledgeable men, they are on this campaign. You have a partner. You have your partner in this movement, in the campaign. I am with you. When other people are afraid, they are paranoid, they are scared to speak up, I'm here to join the fight. We are here financially. If you need our assistance, you guys call on us. This injustice perpetrated by the Weird-led administration, exacerbated by Aloysius Talu and his team at the Central Bank of Liberia, will be corrected. We're calling our national leaders, our representatives for SINOE County, to speak up against this injustice, excluding us from the money that was recently printed. The 1,000 banknote that was recently printed, we, meaning the Sarpos, were excluded. And this injustice will not go unaddressed. It will be corrected because we are taxpayers too, because we contribute to the development of Liberia too. We are important as the other tribal groups in the country. Justice must be done to all. We are calling on our association here in the diaspora, in the US specifically, to continue with the contribution. It was a great move to have donated the $900, but we have to continue with that. I think we need a bigger campaign. The message is going around, but I don't think it's sufficient. We need more voices on the radio, and we need to put the people outside to demonstrate. Just the same way we demonstrated from Milton Tiaje confiscating our land, from stealing our land. Let me not use the offensive word. Okay, from annexing the man wanted to take our land, and so he was doing everything in the Capitol building, and that's why Milton Tiaje was fired. And Elisha Kotu now is about to go, if he has not already left, because Joseph Barker is not going to keep him. He is very unjust, and we don't want unjust people, unfair people to lead our country. We want fair people that will treat all the citizens in the country equally. So I want to say congratulations to President Miles for standing up, for supporting the campaigners. We are asking the money-making machine in Minnesota to also help the campaign, because it's all of us. We are being deleted. We are being expunged from our own history, and we have to stand up. Like the campaigner said, some of the contribution we are making in the country, we are building hospitals in the country. We are building nurses' quarters. We are building schools across the country. We are educating, giving scholarship to the students, the children of Liberia. We are making our contribution. And so when we are printing national symbols, national artifacts, we should not be excluded. We fought in a liberation struggle. We have Professor Richard Panton. He's, besides fighting to liberate the indigenous people from the oppression of the American Liberians, he is now teaching at the university, Cottington University in Liberia, imparting knowledge in our children. That's contribution of the Sarpos. We have the late Oscar Quia, who represented when the country was fragmented. He represented the civilians in the country. May his soul rest in peace. He was also part of the liberation struggle in the country. We have currently Deacon Kala. He was also part of the liberation struggle in Liberia. We have Joe Wiley there, those guys. They fought to liberate us from the oppression, from the tyranny of the oligarchs. But we are being suppressed by our government. For whatever reason, we don't know. Did we do wrong to take you from the oppression of the settlers? Did we do any wrong? No. We free you. It's not a wrong thing to fight for you, to take you from, to remove the needs of the American Liberians from your necks. It's not a bad thing we did. So you can't delete us from the money. You can't exclude us from the money. And you teaching this thing in school. So we are glad progress is being made. I mean, we know it's gradual, but we don't need gradualism. We want this thing to go expeditiously to make sure that every sector, every population, every citizen in the country is represented on anything that we do as a nation. How is it that we have the national park and you say SARPO National Park, but then you say, you know, we don't belong on the money? Why? Why are we not included? The argument that, oh, we are in two counties is a bogus argument. The Mandingos are all over the country, but they are major tribe in the country. The Bassos are all over the place. They are major tribe in the country. The Crew, they got two counties in the country, Grand Crew, and they are also in Sano County. They are also a tribal group. So you want to exclude certain people, which is ridiculous. An indigenous person discriminating against another indigenous person because of this philosophy, this divide and conquer philosophy that these settlers they brought to our country. Before the migration, before the coming of the indigenous, the American Liberians, the indigenous tribes, they were working together. They were not fragmented. But it came, the guys, the best way they could infiltrate, the best way they could penetrate the unity of the indigenous people is to divide them, to use the divide and conquer philosophy. And Aloysius Talu, then they are still pushing these philosophies around here. And we'll speak to them. We got to stand up. The SARPO are poloable in Liberia. They got to organize our people. We have to protest. Supported by the two SARPO's organizations in the USA. They got to get that support. We got other SARPO's organization in Ghana and other countries. They got to speak up. You are not being recognized, but you are paying taxes. You are sending your remittances to Liberia. But the people say, you know why? You don't exist. Something is wrong somewhere. And I'm glad that we changed George Weah and his whole team. So Aloysius Talu, then they're gone. I'm glad that we have that, because these unfair, these sectionalists, these tribalists, they got to go. They got to go for all to be treated fairly. Otherwise, certain people will be marginalized. That being said, ladies and gentlemen, I want to say thank you so much for joining us tonight on Voice of SINOE. It looks for the local thing. Next beginning tomorrow, I will get my new permanent schedule, right? Yeah, so tomorrow when I get to the office, I think I will meet the communication desk or some way. So once I get the schedule all set up, yes, we will be here. My hunch is it will be every Wednesday. Yeah, but once I see the schedule, we'll give you specific time when we're going to be here. But I'm predicting, without seeing the schedule, that we'll be here weekdays, one of the weekdays, which will be either Wednesday or Tuesday, but my hunch is Wednesday, so that we can talk to you, to have a conversation, to continue this conversation. This injustice that has been perpetrated in Liberia against over 40,000 human beings. And I want to see 1 or 2 persons talking. The census says that we are over 40,000. But then, yeah, the agitation is minimal. All right, guys, we want to say thank you so much for joining us tonight. We appreciate your time again. Don't hesitate to subscribe to our YouTube page. It's Voice of SINOE in the Diaspora. We're on YouTube. Subscribe to that YouTube. People have a lot of, every time we are live on Facebook, we are also live on YouTube. So subscribe, you hit the notification button. Every time we go live, you will get a notification, and you can either log on to AID, you can either go on Facebook or YouTube. It's totally up to you. If you want to have a bigger screen, you can watch it from your television, you know. And yeah, you relax on your couch instead of holding the little device in your hand, the phone. You know, you can just, you know, watch it from your television set. All right, that being said, I want to say thank you so much and have yourself a wonderful night. We are out.